He responds with, "You are demonic." I told no one about us. He didn't read the messages, so he's just crashing out. And oh shit, I just liked something.
Oh no.
Oh my god. Oh my god, the stakes just got so high.
I'm so sorry. Are you okay? I don't really care. I really don't.
What did you like?
I liked my message. So
Okay, that's good.
yeah, I liked one of my own messages.
It's just like,
Oh, she's
just so you
rereading-
know.
She's
Yeah.
rereading it.
That's great.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
So he said, "Shame on the devil for leading you this way. The fruit of your life is all the evidence you need. I was going to give it time and space and try to make peace with you, but you are blocked. I am guilty of having sex with a witch. This is my only crime."
This is the best gossip we've ever had.
You have to awkwardly put them up next to your face.
I know I always blow the auditions because of my hands.
Because of your hands.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
I think you're
They're
right.
like short and stubby.
You could be a star right now if
Yes,
it weren't
it
for
wasn't
those
for my
hands.
exact-
Only you had better hands.
You get it. Okay, so ask the Christian question now.
Oh yeah. What
Yes.
kind of Christianity did you grow up with?
It was Pentecostal, non-denominational, very black churches, which is very random because my mom is Japanese and was the only woman that was other in the church often, and she would get down. My mom is, I think she's a little like dysmorphic. Because I remember one specific dinner. This has nothing to do with anything, but like one dinner we're sitting at, it's just me, my mom, and my little brother in my house for most of my life, and we're just like sitting eating, and it's completely normal, and my mom just goes, "Yeah, because I'm black." And me and my brother look up like, what? It was like so unprovoked. What the hell was that? But like it made sense in a lot of the things that we did growing up, because I was like, this is an odd upbringing. It was very Asian in the house, but then like we would be in really black spaces. Very random.
Whoa, that is an interesting
So
upbringing.
weird.
It's
Where did you
amazing.
grow up? Oh, in Valley Stream.
Yeah, I
Right.
grew up in Valley Stream. I was born in Dallas, Texas, because that's where my dad's side of the family is. They're all like throughout Texas, spread out. Yeah, my dad has like, now he's inherited acres of land that my grandma passed him on when she passed away. But I think they acquired that land through sharecropping. But and whoever was, whoever they were under had passed, and now he's just sitting on acres of land with his new Caribbean wife.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Do you talk to him?
No, and I probably should.
Or just for the land purposes.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a really good
'Cause
point.
The American dream is gone for millennials. We got to get it how we get it.
Hey, we're cuspers.
Cuspers?
Cuspers.
Yeah, we are.
We're like young. We're like Gen Z millennials.
We're zillennials. And I don't care what anyone says. I love the term.
Yeah.
I love the term.
It's a real term. Because we don't identify, like millennials, a lot of millennials are like 45. Like that's the upper age of millennials.
Oh.
Is it
which
really?
is so different from our experience as really
25.
From
Wait, I'm sorry.
year-olds.
I'm sorry. I have to remember that I'm not a baby anymore. 45 is millennial, like the...
Is the upper millennial.
What? No, that feels like Gen X.
That's telling you. Maybe it's like 42.
Crazy.
So it's such a stark contract, because it's like 42 and you can't buy a house is different than like 27 and you can't buy a house.
No, yeah. 27.
Welcome to Yenta, everybody, the podcast that's sometimes
Yes.
about comedy, sometimes about Judaism, sometimes about queerness, and always about gossip. Today on the podcast we have Tatyana Guchi.
Pew, 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 pew.
She gets it.
I'm just going straight off your vibes.
No, that's
Yeah.
it. That's how we intro everyone.
It
We
really
sound
It's
effects.
you brought the air horn this time.
Yeah.
Normally we have one.
Oh, hell yeah. No, I got one locked and loaded always.
Yes.
Tatyana, I saw you for the first time at the Hollywood Improv, and you crushed. You don't know this because you were performing and I was just an audience member. and you were amazing. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then Rita was like, the booker at the Improv was like, come over here, and I was like, oh, I just want to be like her.
Oh, stop.
And then I just kept
Wow.
seeing her, and then I saw you at a mic like a few weeks ago, and I was like, I want to talk to you more, because that's the only reason I do this podcast, is to talk to people
That's
that I want to
hilarious.
talk to.
A.
Yeah.
And B, I've seen you so many times, and I'm like, oh, she's killing it. They are killing it. Whoa.
Yeah, whatever. Sure.
I am sorry. Pronouns. I didn't ask.
Either anything is fine.
Anything? Okay.
Yeah. They, she, daddy.
All right. Well, I
Daddy.
seen Daddy perform, and I was like, wait, you're really you're crushing it
I'm
too.
trying.
So
I'm trying.
I can tell.
Tatyana,
It
you're
reads.
Credits.
you're mostly a stand-up, right? But
Primarily.
you also do improv. You're with
Netflix is
the
a joke.
the iconic group Bernie Mac and Cheese.
Money baby. What's
for
up?
Improv, incredible.
Shout out to the gang.
You performed. You just did a set on the Sirius XM Netflix is a Joke radio.
Yes.
That's
yeah.
very
That's
glamorous.
huge.
Yeah.
That's like their pipeline to the festival.
Yeah. I
Right?
didn't even realize I was split between going to a Dodgers game and then doing a showcase, and I was like, fuck it, let me do this showcase. Like, you know, I feel like stand-ups are like psychotic. It's like real life or stand-up. It's like, I'm going to do stand-up every time. And I'm really glad that I did that showcase, because one of the girls who produces various shows for the Netflix is a Joke festival happened to accidentally be there. She wasn't even supposed to be there. And then she was like, come do this taping. I was like, sure. Yeah.
Wait, it was a taping, or is it a different taping?
For Sirius XM, it was a taping.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, so it's really cool to have.
What was
like,
the showcase?
It was at the Crow. It was intended for like.
Wait, was it the one that we left before? That was after the late night panel?
Yes.
Yes,
The
I
audition.
remember actually I caught the opening moments of your set before we left, which was only because we were tired and weren't planning to watch it anyway. But
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the one where I'd gotten the notice like a day or two before. They were like, come do the showcase. And I was like, oh, sure. Because I think I did a mic or something, and like just one thing led to another. And I was like, oh, wow, now I am archived.
I think you started it by saying like, this show needs more queer people.
Did I?
Did you?
Maybe not. Maybe that wasn't me.
Maybe that was someone else. But we didn't.
Also,
we
that doesn't sound like The Crow.
No. That someone said that at the Crow.
Yeah?
At the Crow, yeah.
The Crow is so queer. I
It
feel
really
like.
is. Yeah. Nicole is queer.
Is she?
I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
think so. I think I made that up. This is it's
Yeah,
a gossip.
Nicole,
This is
come
a
out
gossip.
now.
It's a gossip pod. So this is how rumors
Nicole,
start.
listeners, is the owner of The Crow.
Hi, Nicole.
Shout out Nicole.
I love you. You're
maybe
so
we'll have
queer.
Nicole on the pod. I don't know.
Yes.
why don't
She'd be a good guest.
Yeah, we could have like not. We could. She's also a comic.
She'd be
Yeah.
I don't know
incredible.
if she would do it. I don't. Whatever.
We
I
might.
love what Nicole does too. She
Yeah.
puts on for the girlies
Yeah.
in comedy, which
Yeah.
is so important
Yeah.
to have a space where you can go and feel safe. Most women who want to start stand up or haven't done it before, who come to me and ask me like, where should I start? I always say go to the Crow, because you'll feel safe. It doesn't. There's something that could really like psychologically damage you about like being on stage in front of people who are not supportive.
Yeah.
And I would never want to put anybody through that kind of situation or scenario. So I always refer them there. Like, I know you're going to be taken care of. There's going to be other women in the audience. And even if your first set ever is ass, that's not the point. You're going to be bad for a long time.
Yeah.
And so you get good, but you need to be safe enough and feel safe enough to get good.
Yeah.
What is your? Do you have like a comedy philosophy, mantra, something that you like, some way that you approach comedy specifically in your writing or in your performing?
I had a great comic one time tell me to go get booed. He said, go get booed.
Ooh.
Like, try to be as bad as you can, which will and through that you can see where you actually lie. I've been booed one time, but it was like not like a crowd boo. It was like a bar show in New York, And it was one of those bar shows in New York, like half the people did not know that a show was going to be happening there because this is their regular hangout spot.
Like, we just want to drink with our friends.
Yeah, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Literally, that's the whole energy. And I don't remember what joke I was telling because I was so new. But I saw one guy, and this is like, it's like bright outside. It's a happy
best
hour.
time for a show. Yeah.
You can see everybody. There's no spotlight. Like, I can see everyone in this bar. This guy, I watch him. He's not even paying attention to the show. But whatever I said prompted him to put down his glass of cognac. Neat.
Okay.
So very classy. He put it down. He turned around and said, "Nigga, boo," and then turned back around. And I said, okay, that's my time. I don't know what I said, but I remembered that every single day for the rest of my career. And I just think I get better to spite him. I think that's why you need to get booed. I'm like, just because one motherfucker in a bar somewhere.
What would you do now if that man said the exact same thing to you? In the same scenario.
I will actually say it probably wouldn't happen, but I have had people walk out of shows maybe because they don't particularly like the material. I did a show at a retirement home, and and my comedy is very much through my perspective and lens, and which is like Black, Asian, woman, queer, right? Things that didn't go together in 1920. So everyone there is like on the verge of dying. Let's be real. It's a retirement home. They're like in their 80s. They're not doing well. By the time I get up and I begin my set and I'm doing whatever, I can't remember what joke it was on. I saw one man who he sat there. I mean, expression never changed. Just flag an aide down to get him the hell out. I said, wow, that has never happened to me before. So and I didn't call it out
to it.
No,
You
I just
didn't.
kept going. I was like, they're not going to remember this. They're not going to
Yeah.
remember this
I don't even know where they are
at all.
Man, I did one nursing home show actually around the corner here. There's
Really?
a nursing home.
Wow.
What a nightmare.
Wait, how did you book that?
I know someone who does lots of nursing homes.
Ooh,
Amazing.
there's a
She's
nursing
like
home
a
circuit.
nursing home circuit.
That's insane.
She's on it.
Brilliant.
Cut it out.
And she like knows I live here. She's like around the block. She's like, "Do you want to do 5?" I was like, "Why not?"
Did they pay you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Hell no.
No.
Hell no.
My only regret is not writing like specific old people jokes.
yes.
Because it would have been so good for TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I could just like, I don't know, it's like shit, not in a nice way, but like rip on old people in front of them.
Yeah.
And, or just get, I don't know, I could have made that really blow up. But did you clip that?
I did not clip it. I think I still have the footage. I have the whole set. They love the puns. I will say they love puns. It was the Sage retirement in Glendale. And I was like, hey, Sage, it looks like y'all running out of time. I guess there's another herb. I was like, you get the herb joke? And one guy was like, that's good.
Oh my God.
There was one guy who thought it was hilarious. I was like, hey, and I kept pointing back at him every time I made a herb pun.
What do you think how would you describe your persona on stage?
Actually somebody described it to me, which I love it and I take it. Joyful.
Oh.
Yeah. They're like, no matter what you say, I feel joy. And I love that. I'm like, oh wow, that's good branding.
That's
I love that.
hard though in like comedy in stand-up, which I feel like is such a cynical
art form.
Yeah.
It's like to still do that and through a lens where it's like, I'm just happy to be here it's like, I don't know. I think that's just kind of my superpower is that I am I'm really that happy friend that like chaotic things happen and I'm just like, oh yeah, I just got evicted, but like no big deal. It's so crazy. You know, I just met Mahershala Ali. That's so cool. They're like, what? Let's go back to the first part. And I'm like, no. Dead ass though.
Yeah, like I feel like I used to when I started I was more joyous on stage and I've definitely
You've just
got
slowly
a little bit I think I've needed to develop a little bit of a tougher persona to survive out there. Because I have gotten booed as well, and I think about it
Nice.
all the time.
When did you get
Yeah.
booed?
I got booed in London.
Whoa,
yes.
boo.
At an international
And it's not even like a
international boo.
boo. Whoa.
Does that trigger you? Hearing
They do
Wait.
not- but London, they're like their comedy is so different,
It's very different.
and the guys there are mean,
Yeah.
like even meaner than here. I feel like.
Really?
I mean, I don't know. I guess whatever, it depends. But it was a gong show. Oh,
phone call.
my mother's calling me.
Oh my God. Hi, mother.
Yeah.
Spell Ema like that.
Yeah.
E-M-A. That's mom in Hebrew.
Ema. Ema.
How would you
Yeah.
spell Ema if you had to spell it?
I-M-A.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's how I don't know. My parents they grew up like secular, and then they became religious
Oh,
later in
yeah.
life,
Yeah.
and they were like 20 and 30.
Okay.
They grew up Orthodox and like it was very Jewy.
They
And,
they grew up Orthodox and then became.
I grew up Orthodox.
You grew up Orthodox.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know if you knew that. I was filling you in. But so there's a lot of stuff they do is a little bit weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, oh yeah, they
London.
booed me in
You got
London
booed
at
in
a gong
London.
show. Have you heard of a gong show?
No, I don't know
It's
what that
this
is.
thing that's a psychotic thing that they only do there, where like you basically people in the audience can vote you off the stage
Like
if they
live?
don't like you
Oh.
live. So they give they give people they give 3 people in the audience
A gong?
like a gong yeah no like a sign
Okay.
to be like I want to vote
in your
them off.
mid-set and it's
Gong. No, that does happen when you get 3 votes off.
Did you get
Whoa.
3
I
votes?
got 3 votes off, and I got booed.
Oh my god.
off.
What?
This makes
Have
me
you ever
so
talked about this
nervous.
before?
I feel like I did tell you.
I think you have.
Yeah.
Oh
I've
my
just forgotten.
God.
It's really traumatizing, but also in a good way of like, oh, I survived that.
Yeah, that's the
Like,
worst.
yeah,
Like that's
it
the
was
bottom
really
line
bad.
worst,
It was
and it
really
should keep you
bad.
up at night
Yeah.
because that's what makes
And
you
it does.
better. Yeah, that bomb should make you
Yeah.
fucking wanna. Like that's what separates the good from the great. It's like the person that can get through that
Yeah.
and be like, no, I'm gonna fuck these people up, and you're
Yeah.
never gonna get that opportunity again. But there's something that switches in your mind, like that nothing else can do that to.
Okay,
To
when
you.
you think I'm gonna fuck these people up with my jokes, how? What comes next? What's the how? How are you gonna fuck them up? You know, what's your strategy there as a comedian?
It's a lot of getting up, trying new things, making sure that I think for me, my system is every show depending on the show now, I'm at the point where if I'm getting paid for the show, then I'll make sure that I'm doing things that have been tested, that are
Right.
tried and true.
Yeah.
And if the show I'm not getting paid for, it's just time I get to get up, I'm going to fucking do whatever. I'm going to go through the notes. I have a book with me. I'm working on things actively because we need to figure out how to get to like a full set, right?
Yeah.
I've worked an hour now at this point in my career. And to do that consistently, like, 3 days in a weekend, that's really tough. That's hard work. And so I want to get to that point. So in order to get to that point, you have to keep running and testing jokes. And that's a little harder in Los Angeles for sure, because the amount of time that you get up, it's nothing compared to some other cities that are a little bit more aggressive. Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about this. Where like you went to a mic in Colorado.
Yeah, in Boulder.
You go to a mic anywhere else, and it's like a full.
It was a show.
It's a show.
Oh, yeah.
It was amazing.
And
Going
you
to
don't
this
have
mic,
to
there were
pay.
50 people there. Yeah, you don't have to pay.
Yeah.
It's like
They're
a
thrilled
free
that you're
show.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the case in most other cities.
Let's
Here,
go on the road. Let's do a tour.
Yes,
Tour
of open
just
mics.
Of open
Open mics.
just to get stage time.
Come out
Amazing
People who are
Thousands of
grateful to
dollars in the
see
red.
us.
Yeah.
I think it's worth it.
I honestly, I'm thinking about doing it, more this winter because I'm tired of LA shows
Yeah.
and LA audiences.
Yeah.
And no time and
LA does not
whatever.
teach you to be a good comic.
Right?
It does not prepare you to be a good comic at all.
What
No.
do you think does prepare you besides the booing?
I think getting in front of real people, getting in front of real people. That's who is going to be paying for tickets to see you or see a show, right? And so they're less likely to be, you know, kind and nice to you and just like
fake nice.
And and just like laugh and, you know, give you all of that fake support. They're gonna let you know what's hitting and what's not, and be very open to understanding that feedback. You have to, you know, you create a vibe with the audience, and you should be able to feel when, okay, that didn't hit the way that I thought it would. Okay. When I started hitting cities outside of Los Angeles, well, I started in New York. Let's start there. I started in New York, so I had a better idea of what a good comedian should look like on stage as it was.
When you were living in Valley Stream.
Yeah, well, when I started comedy, I had already moved to Brooklyn.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was living in Brooklyn, constantly working either in Brooklyn or in Manhattan. I'd been there for 2 years before I moved out to Los Angeles. So Los Angeles does teach you to be a professional comedian. I'll say that. It does. New York does not teach you how to be a professional, particularly. It's a little bit, it's still like, it's grimy. It's a bit more, you know, you can be like, I'm hilarious, give me 5 minutes, and they'll give you time on stage, you know, if you catch the right producer on the right night. Here it's not like that. It's very political, you know, I'll book you, send me a tape, and, you know, and maybe once in a while you might get someone who's nice who might have time on their show, but yeah, you have to politic a little better. I came out here with the New York energy, like I'm hilarious, give me 5 minutes. And everyone's like, you need to relax.
So
ma'am. So yeah, I think, and then some of my favorite places to play out here on the West Coast is San Luis Obispo, San Diego, Santa Barbara.
Getting out of the city.
Getting out of Los Angeles proper.
And how do you get booked on those? You have people?
I've just all relationships. It's all been through like just other comedians. I'm so grateful. Most of my work comes through other comedians. Yeah. You know, it's a weird, like, it's kind of a weird dichotomy of having a career that's very, it's just you. It's you and a mic on stage making people laugh. So it can feel lonely, but that's not the case. It's a huge community. There's a camaraderie that we all have because we understand, like, this is a hard thing that we're doing, you know, and we all can't do it alone. Yeah. You know, which is ironic to say, but yeah.
I know. I'm trying to get more in that mindset too, because I do feel like you know what? Because you do improv. Yeah. So when I did stand up for a few years, and then I tried to do improv, and I was like, why is everyone being so nice? Like, this is weird. Why are people like being friendly with each other? Yeah. And I feel like you have a good mix. Of both. Yeah. I think I do bring those two worlds. To a head, because improv you literally can't do alone. You can't, and you have to really connect with other people to do it well. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's like, and it's like, if you're doing well, you're doing well with your teammates. If you're bombing, you're bombing with your teammates. You know, we're in it together no matter how this goes. And so it's a beautiful, like, and what you can create out of that is so beautiful. And I think I do try to take some of that improv energy into my stand-up. Yeah. How do you feel like the crowds outside of LA react to your, like, very specific worldview? In that you said, like, half black, half Asian, queer, all, like, because I feel like I have also a very specific worldview, like ex-Orthodox, Jewish, queer, like, how does that come up? Do people like butt heads with that ever? No, because I think they can all relate to the human aspect of whatever story it is I'm telling. They understand, like, I try to make it, my jokes do come from the lens of, like, hey, I'm a human being having a very specific human experience, but you can always connect to the emotional part of that. And so, like, often I've never had any negative feedback. Thankfully, I've really had, if anything, like, I've done some small towns. Like, I went on the road with Josh. Oh my God. Why am I forgetting? No. Oh my God. Sorry. I'll start pick up. I went on the road with Josh Waldron and Noah Coffer, and we did his hometown, Vacaville, in, like, it's like, I don't know, like 30, 40 minutes outside of Sacramento or something like that. And after I went out, after the show was over, some like older ladies came up to me. So they were like, so
Black and Japanese? And they were like, couldn't believe that it could happen at the same time. I'm like, yeah. And I was talking to them, but like again, the stories, like it becomes intriguing, but there's always a human aspect element that you can relate to, and I think that's the most important part, because we just people, we're all trying to figure this out.
I feel like I heard this in theater school constantly, so much that it became a cliche, but it's kind of true. Specificity is the key to universality. Have you heard that line?
I've never heard that, but that's so beautiful.
It's a good point. People
Yeah.
say it so much that it becomes a little cliche, but like it's true that when you're being really specific about your unique life experience, it's somehow the most relatable.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
we've all disappointed our parents in different ways, but like my unique story of that is gonna like hit with you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've never disappointed my parents. I don't know what you're talking about. You're right.
Never.
They love everything I do all the time.
The golden child. You're the password child.
Yeah.
The password child. That's so funny.
What? I don't get that.
The one who holds the passwords?
Yeah. Oh, like to the Netflix account?
Is that what you
No,
mean?
I think the password child is like the favorite child, because that's the one that ends up being the password for the parent. Like they'll always put
my
their favorite kid
God.
as their password.
That's so cute.
so funny.
No, my parents don't do that.
It's like what's their password?
My parents put like Torah
yeah.
is the best.
Oh.
613. Wait. Okay. So you grew up Pentecostal,
Yes.
and this is a selfish. Whatever. Like, what? Could you grew up like around a lot of Jews, kind of?
yeah,
You
so
weren't- yeah.
I my religious upbringing kind of ended when I was around 16, 15 years old, I want to say. I was actually getting in a lot of fights with the elders at my church, which is so random.
Amazing.
But like even as a youth, I was like, y'all are hypocrites and I don't like this. And I was not somebody, I will say, you know, God bless my mom. She did an amazing job raising me and my brother with the resources she had. But I think there was an element of my own lack of respect of authority, because in my household, I was growing up with my mom. My mom was a young parent. She was an immigrant parent. So there were like things that I'm explaining to her about American culture. So I feel like I'm raising somebody. So I'm like, this is the authority in my house.
Obey
Who are
your
you to
parents.
talk to me?
Yeah.
Right.
You're like helping her fill out her tax paper.
Facts.
Osama Siddiqui has a. Do you know him? He's a comic.
Yes, yeah, Osama,
He's
yeah.
a great bit about like
Yes.
children of immigrants like helping their parents.
And it
with
really
you know.
is true. Like there's it's almost like you have to learn so quickly, because you know, they just don't know and they need your help, and obviously you're a good kid, so you want to help.
Yeah.
Do
you have siblings?
I do.
Oh yeah, right. You have two
My
siblings.
younger brother.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a younger brother from my mom, and then my dad has a slew of other kids that are also my brothers and sisters. Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, so you know, I think the lack of respect in the Pentecostal church, that's where that came from. And I was constantly questioning, and I don't think religion really actually likes when you question the religion. So
well, Jewish people say that they like questioning.
And in
They don't know.
Reform and conservative, they love it.
Right.
But
not in Orthodox.
once you get really Orthodox,
Yeah.
it's complicated.
Yeah.
Some of them like it.
So did you do like a
interesting.
religion tour? You like learned about a lot of that.
you know what I'm saying? I spent a little time at the
Yeah,
mosque.
yeah.
I went up to the temple, did some prayers. No, I think just from my own like research, because I left religion altogether when I would like physically go with my mom to church. I'd ride with her, but then I'd like dip out as soon as service started. I was like, let me just go like hang out with the kids on the block. And that kind of was my life. I was like, I think I just didn't, maybe I did believe in God, but I don't know. I just did whatever I wanted. And then, you know, the older I got, I was like, God exists. There's no way you can look outside and see just the trees and how people connect. And like, I can look in a person's eyes. I don't care what walk of life you're from. I'm like, oh no, God exists. And so that for me is like, okay, so why is there so much separation, right? And from my own minor, but studies. I look at other teachings of different religions, whether they are Islam or they are Judaism and Christianity, and I'm like, there's a lot more here that is in common than that is different. The differences are the messengers, maybe the location. Yeah. But they're so minor.
There's
compared.
Specific takes on pork.
Yes, very specific takes on whether or not you should eat a food or not. But the fundaments, I mean, just the baseline, the laws by which we live, you can't tell me that's not the same God speaking, because they are the same laws. Mm-hmm. They are the same laws, Love each other, respect each other, don't kill, don't cheat on your
and sort
spouse.
Of have at least a couple randomly chosen forms of discipline, self-discipline. Abstain from some things.
Yeah.
They all tell you to abstain from some things.
Right.
Different things. But that's an interesting element that I feel like
it's absolutely, because what the thing does, it's more harm to you than it is anything else, right? You're not supposed to harm yourself. I think that's a common.
Or like, is it harmful? Religion. Like, is premarital sex harmful? I don't think so. But that's a classic one to abstain from. Mm-hmm. I wonder if it's more the experience of abstaining from something is what's the powerful.
Yeah, the discipline it requires.
Having some kind of discipline.
I think so, because I think the more you give in to your flesh, the more you just this thing can never be satiated. This is never satisfied, right? You eat, you're gonna want to eat in the next few hours. You drink, you're gonna want to continue to get drunk. You smoke, whatever it is. That the self-discipline is the thing that I think is the common thread, to be able to say no, to be able to cut it before it gets bad, because anything can turn into a habit.
I gotta be, this is like a little bit triggering for me. Yeah. Because I'm just like, that was the, that was like what I grew up with. Like, you have to have discipline, or otherwise you can't survive in this world. That's what separates man from animal, is discipline. And like, hearing you guys talk about it, I'm like, yeah, that's true. But I'm also like, just everyone do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that it's right, but that it's a common theme among religion. Right. Is discipline. Like, I don't know if I agree with you that like the flesh is always hungry. For some people, probably. For other people, probably not. The tricky thing with religion is that there are all these rules that are meant to apply to everyone, and they apply to some people really well. And that discipline thing, that like abstinence thing, works really well for some people, but it doesn't work really well for everyone.
Yeah.
I'll say this.
Do whatever you want, listener.
Yeah.
Don't have as much premarital sex. So much of it.
Like, I'll say this, like, so we'll use the eating example, right? Like the hunger example for someone. Like, I'll fast every once in a while.
I fasted yesterday.
Yeah.
For Yom Kippur.
And
tell me about it.
I think that's when I feel the closest to, spiritually, to Creator, because you realize, like, I feel like fasting brings a sort of clarity over you that nothing else can really do. Because now you're hearing all the processes happen in your body. You're like hearing your body digest, and you're like, oh my God, I have to, and you're seeing like what distracts you and what doesn't. And like, I didn't realize how often I eat would really distract from everything else that I have going on. And when you take that out of the equation, how badly your body yearns for that is the part where I say, oh, okay, if you don't lack the discipline, if you look in the opposite direction, now overeating is a problem. Right? Like, it's a sickness, and it can cause you to be sick. Too much of anything. How often do you
fast? How do you decide when to do it?
I when I do it, it's like either it's a 3 or a 5 day stint, and maybe like every like 3 to 4 months.
So like no food, but just water.
Just water.
For 3 to 5
just water.
days.
I did just water and coffee, but then heartburn.
Yeah.
The heartburn.
Fuck me up.
The heartburn is
And
bad.
coffee.
Brutal.
Yeah.
And coffee on nothing else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was,
Ouch.
because I was getting my energy from nowhere.
Yes.
I was,
And you would like
grasping
do
at straws.
things in the world.
oh yeah, I would still like exercise. I'd still work. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
And I could see the moments where I was like, oh, I want to eat so bad, or like, you know,
Yeah.
I would smell something. Your senses heighten. Your sense of sight and smell are so heightened during that time. I'm like, I smell everything now. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Things that you don't really notice because you're so in it, you know?
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
I just think it's so interesting that like fasting is definitely a tool that works for a lot of people. Works for you, maybe it works for you.
Yeah.
It also doesn't work for a lot of other
Yeah.
people. And that's like the interesting thing about religious practice is that like these religions get started around one person who really achieved enlightenment through doing some things. And then everyone's like, okay, we
You
gotta
have
do
to
what he
do
did.
that. Yeah.
Without
Right.
any
Right.
nuance, asking like, could we all reach transcendence in slightly different ways?
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I've always said this too. I think religion has some of the sickest and worst people because they are looking for something to
Yeah.
help them.
Yes.
And I think that's the part that's tough. It gives a religion a bad name because I mean, arguably, yeah, if you're going to a hospital, that's what I would consider a church or, you know, insert various religious venue here.
Yes.
But that the sickest people go there.
Or they're looking for something to mask their sickness.
To mask it,
You
to
know?
make them
Yes.
forget
Yeah.
because they
'Cause
lack
they're
their
like,
own accountability.
I'm such a good person. Look how much
Yeah.
I'm reading the Torah or the
Totally.
Bible. Like I'm but then underneath they're like really nasty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And whatever. Maybe I'll save this for my secret
Ooh,
because I have a kind of a story about that. But
great.
listener, wait for the end of the episode.
Wait for the secret.
Should we transition to secrets?
Yeah.
Wait, do we have any? Okay, fine.
Any
Wait,
other
no, I want to
questions?
ask you one more question.
No, okay,
I
fine.
know I had one more question. Because so we talked about your like comedy philosophy a little bit. Do you have a
Yeah.
social media comedy philosophy?
Um,
or is it just
the social media is still the Wild West to me. I'm
Yeah.
just like
But you do
am-
great on it.
I have
Great.
just been myself.
Yeah.
I'm thankful. It's a mishmash of everything that I think encompasses me, right? Everything is usually comedy forward, but then it's like I like fashion. I like
Yes.
you know, relatable content, just like talk to the camera type stuff, or you know, maybe have an event or something happening I want to keep people along the ride for, and then obviously stand-up clips.
Yeah.
It's just like an amalgamation of everything that is Gucci, and which is cool. I'm like, okay, this is an archive of you know, a kind of a little like stamp of my life, which is, you know, not all of us get to have a network like Oprah. You know, we don't all get the own network where we can put all of our stuff, but so it's like our own little network, you know, that we get to create.
I
So- That's a
love
cute way of
that
thinking
little
about it.
philosophy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're probably months away from your own network.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We'll see. Oprah, here I come.
Yeah.
You're fine. Oprah loves this podcast.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That was I feel like we've gotten your social media philosophy and your comedy philosophy and your religion philosophy. Do you have a philosophy of queerness?
Ooh.
Just to cover all of our favorite
No, but
topics.
next I want to hear about your fashion philosophy also.
Let me start with fashion,
okay.
and then I'll go to queerness because it actually leads into my secret.
Great.
Does that work?
Yes.
Okay.
Brilliant.
So my fashion philosophy, it's been a long time that like in the making of like finding the style that's worked for me, you know, 27 long years.
Oh man. So young.
So long. No, but I think I was never afraid to try things. Young, I grew up, we didn't have a lot. My mom was a single mom. She didn't have a green card, so she could only work like restaurant jobs and like off book, you know, mostly cash she got paid in. So, she was really limited to how much she could make, and you know, trying to raise 2 children off of just her salary and an immigrant salary, that
Yeah.
very tough, hourly worker. So she did what she could, and she definitely gave us the best that she could. But it always, like there were times where I was wearing, whatever we could afford. And that sometimes meant like, I don't know, something from Old Navy or, which is no shade to Old Navy. Old Navy has been covering the body for a minute. I still pop over.
And you'll take a sponsorship.
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, because that sales section, in the 90s was a couple dollars, and that you can dress your kids for a while on, right?
Yeah.
But like I think like I've always loved like looking good, and so I would like go through my mom's closet. My mom did a good job of preserving a lot of her stuff from the 80s, and I would like repurpose it and make stuff. Like my mom had like knits and like different blazers, like stuff that had shoulder pads. So I'd take the shoulder pads out.
But now all that stuff is so back.
And now it's back.
Bet you wish you still had those shoulder pads.
Mm-hmm. But in the 2000s, I was not hot at all.
Right.
So I would make it like work for the era that it was in. And a lot of my friends were like, "You're so fashionable. We love your style." And I'm like, this is old, but I'm like, cool. Cause I was looking at the kids who were wearing like the nicest stuff, and at the time it's like what Abercrombie and Fitch and like, Hollister.
Which I hear is coming back around.
Really?
Abercrombie. People are like, I love it. They rebranded. It's a whole new thing.
Good for them.
Abercrombie sponsor us. Go.
I actually worked there when I was 15 too.
Oh, of course you did. Were you one of the models?
No, because I was black, I was in the back.
Oh no.
I hate that rhymed. I do. Yeah, all the pretty blonde girls got to be on the register, and I was like folding. I was like, ugh.
Are they the ones who had the male models?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
The whole documentary.
Yeah.
Is there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a whole documentary about it and their ethics at the time.
I can't believe they're having a comeback. Good for them. After all of that.
Ooh, that PR.
Yeah.
If you get the right agency, they can bring you back.
Wow.
They can bring you back to life.
Okay,
Yep.
so your fashion.
You
so
were
my
not
fashion,
wearing Abercrombie.
I just try to make it work no matter what. I don't care how cheap it is.
Right.
Like, I don't care. I love a lot of thrifted stuff, like, because it's just renewable and that's
Like,
better for the
walk us through
environment.
this outfit.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, this one, this is a jacket from Cranes. Black owned brand, super dope. They have like the Generation X like back, like for wrestling, but it says Jim Crow is dead.
Yeah.
It's dead. Kill it. These are shorts that I borrowed from my brother. They're Supreme. Because he has cool stuff, and I'm like, I'm gonna raid his closet.
Does he live here?
Yeah, he does.
Oh, that's so
yeah,
cute.
he
Good.
does. Just a black baby tee and a little underwear for color.
Great.
And some socks with a smiley face on the back.
And the chains and jewelry.
Oh yeah, a little tour. I love a little jewelry tour.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll start. These are just like from Shein. These rings are from Shein.
Cool.
Great.
And then this one I got in Japan when I visited. This one's also from Shein. Let's see, a little chrome heart situation. Little chrome hearts. You feel me? And just like a random chain I got on Larchmont along with this bracelet. These are also bracelets I got when I was in Japan, and this one's from Shein. Yay!
Oh my god,
and
this
then
was so fun. We need to
Thank
do
God.
more of these outfit
You're
tours.
the first person I have asked for an outfit tour.
Oh my
for
God.
a fit tour.
It's so fun.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and I
Okay.
forgot the watch I got on
Watch.
eBay. It's a Fossil vintage watch, and I really liked it because it looked like a spine.
Great
So
outfit,
random.
great tour.
Wow, thank you so much. I was nervous at first. I was like, I don't know if this
You
all works, and I
crushed.
put it on. I was like, okay,
Yeah, absolutely.
thank you. Perf.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, so fashion philosophy.
Fashion
Queer
philosophy.
philosophy.
Into queer philosophy. So the
'Cause
two
they're very
kind of
connected.
they're very
Yeah,
connected.
yeah.
Yeah, my queerness has seen a journey and has seen a transformation. I came out when I was, well, I don't know that I ever officially came out. When I was 21, I broke up with my boyfriend. And funny enough, in that relationship, I realized I was like, I like women. And because we would go to this restaurant, and there was this one girl who was a waiter there. She was so beautiful. And I loved going just because I loved looking at her. And then I told myself after we broke up, I was like, I'm going to go get her number. Never did. She was never there. I think she quit. Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck?
That would have been.
Are you single now?
I'm single now.
Oh my god, we should find her.
I'm
She's
single
listening.
now. And That's when I maybe a year later I met my first ever girlfriend. And that was like beautiful. No, actually a couple months after that breakup, I met my first ever girlfriend, and we did the most lesbian thing ever. Moved in with each other after 30 days.
Wow. Perfect.
Stayed together for
So
4
long.
years. Yeah.
Wow, 4 years.
4 years that relationship lasted. It was tumultuous. It was, as you could imagine.
Codependent.
Yeah.
Like,
You don't know a person in 30 days.
Yeah.
That's a ridiculous amount of time
Yeah.
to move in with someone.
Yeah, you were 21.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
did Love is Blind.
Yeah, I did it. Well, it wasn't blind though. The reason why I even spoke to her was because she was absolutely hot. I was like, I want
Yep.
her. It was completely, it was very surface, that entire relationship. She's a Libra. Shout out to you. You know who you are.
Do you think she would listen to this?
I hope we still have mutuals. I would hope somebody sends it to her. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Share.
Watch it.
The shares help the pod. So send it to London.
God, she's so good.
I love that. We're gonna get people to share the pod just to get like revenge.
Just to get
Yes.
on
revenge.
their exes.
I'm doing good,
Yeah.
bitch. Just so you know.
You're on the Yenta pod.
Yeah. Okay, so that was that relationship that ended, and then after that, actually one of the main problems in that relationship towards the end was that she didn't like how masculinely I presented, which was really interesting. Yeah. Her herself didn't like identify as a stud, but she was definitely masculine presenting, which I felt like was
She wanted you to be like the girly
my
one.
yeah,
God,
she
that's
wanted to
so
be
interesting.
more feminine.
So heteronormative.
So
gays.
heteronormative.
Enough of these.
Yeah, and I
Enough.
think
So many of
Did
them.
you
is it the
become-
case? I'm sorry, I have a question though, but like, is it the case for like other races? Because I feel like specifically in Black queer relationships, it's very heteronormative, and I'm like I'm not a any normative kind of person.
Yeah.
Is that the case
I
for
mean,
other
it definitely
people?
is the case.
Yeah.
More.
Yeah, I feel like we can
Or-
speak to the white world.
Yeah, I
It's
can't-
like feels like 50-50. Half of them are really heteronormative and half of them are like gender doesn't exist.
Mm,
Yeah.
know?
I guess
So
it
it's
depends
like-
what circles you're in.
Yeah.
I
But
guess so.
I
Yeah.
definitely think that there is like a overall tendency in the queer community to move towards hetero, to like mimic the hetero relationship.
Yeah.
And you see this all you see
The
it.
mask there's a mask shortage from
yeah.
all of these fans.
Mask
Yeah.
That's so funny. I've never heard that. That's so funny. Yeah, because that's the case. And it
Yeah, she doesn't know about the mask
Oh,
shortage.
I had no idea there was a
FYI.
mask shortage.
Allegedly.
You're gonna crush.
Literally no clue. And so that really threw me off, because I was like, I thought we were women
Right.
with one another, you know.
Uh-huh.
But this person also really cared about their own image. I mean, they worked in fashion, so they really cared about their image and how they presented to the
Interesting.
world. Yeah, and they worked with athletes and stuff. So I'm sure you see a little bit of that, and you see like there's just,
Yeah.
these men have trophy wives, and you
They
kind of
wanted
want
their
that.
trophy wife.
That's not what I am, baby.
Yeah.
At all. I'm nobody's trophy. And so after that, I kind of went through a little bit. That was like I would say that was it was confusing to me. And then I went on a bit of a journey of like figuring out what presenting to the world looked like for me. I definitely had like a hard stud phase. It was not my shining moment. And I figured out that wasn't for me. But, through that, I think I've found the style and what is now the image that I want to portray to the world, which is like, I'm just a tomboy. I kick it and I love whoever I love. I think I've said on stage that I am gay just for the audience to understand where I'm at. But the older I've gotten, I'm like, oh wow, I could really fall in love with anybody, like no matter what the gender is. And so that's why I say queer, because I feel like that fits more appropriately. And now this is the perfect segue into my secret.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God. I'm literally sharing this, this first publication ever. Really, all my close friends.
We're the media.
You guys are, wow.
Hard-hitting journalists.
Hardcore journalism. Breaking.
Tatyana Guchi.
I had been in a secret relationship with a man for the last 2 years.
2 years?
Bro, this is so good.
2 years.
Okay.
Why was it secret?
It was secret because for one of those years, he had a wife.
Not where I thought that was gonna go.
I didn't want him to look like the bad guy because apparently they would just he was very adamant there was no home for you to wreck. There was no home when you got here. Okay. And
How
then
did you meet?
so he was on my improv team.
Whoa.
Crazy. Whoa. And I don't really care because I just won't say names, but like literally everybody will know because there's very few choices on the team. So
He was a pasta.
he was
Mac and cheese.
he was a noodle. Yeah.
He was a noodle.
He was a fucking noodle. And we became really good friends first. Before anything, he was one of my best friends, like someone who was so dependent, someone I could lean on. And, you know, it was really one of those situations. It was like the perfect circumstances.
Yes.
To, you know, and the perfect disguise for everyone. They're like, oh, Gucci likes women and he's married. So there's no way
Of course.
that could happen.
And you guys just have to professionally be vulnerable together on stage.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So
like,
how long were you together as you were on the same team? Like, would you like have sex and then do improv the next day and pretend that you were just friends?
Absolutely.
Oh my God. Oh my
The
God.
way that
oh my
we-
God.
That is so hot.
We deserve
Yes, it is.
Oscars.
That would keep the relationship going.
We desermoved Oscars.
This is like the best secret.
I know. Is
When I
he
tell you-
still on the team?
No, so he actually left like a month ago. It ended so crazy. Oh my God, you want to know how
Yes,
it ended?
of
Okay,
course.
great,
No,
because I can't wait
wait.
to talk
Walk
about
us through the beginning, because you were there for a year. You were a secret for a year,
Yes.
and then when did you come out as?
it. We never came out up until he did what he did. So I mean,
Okay, fine. Okay.
so
Wait, the
nobody
camera's
knew
on, right?
really. Nobody knew up until recently. It's actually recently ended, like within the last month and a half.
Oh my God.
It was crazy. So yes, we, you know, he would bring me on the road with him a lot, and you know, all of this was happening like as I got to be a really great comedian under him, and all of that was happening. And then
Wait. So there was also
Oh my
like a
God.
working.
yeah, we were together all the time.
And what's less suspicious than the lesbian and the married guy going on tour together?
What is less suspicious?
Oh my God.
Nobody
This
would've thunk
this
it.
is a novel I would read.
Oh yeah, and it would be sexy as fuck.
And I think a lot of it was, I think there was a level of embarrassment for me too, because I was like,
Yeah.
are the queers gonna judge me?
Yeah, bro.
And
Yes.
I don't really care. This is my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
I have to be the one to live it at the end of the day, so I don't really care. And if
And you were
anything,
on stage doing like your gay material,
1,000%,
bro.
1,000%.
Yeah.
How
How did that feel?
At a certain point, it felt dishonest.
Yeah.
Yeah. At a
Yeah.
certain point, it felt dishonest. Now, like my set reflects more closely to the experience that I'm living, and I actually started to talk about it recently, which feels so good.
At this mic that we both did, both of us were
Yeah.
like, we're dating men again.
I was like, if anybody understands what I'm going through, it's gonna be Ray.
Oh, dude, I love that.
It's
So
gonna
good.
be Ray,
Yeah.
dude, because it's like. it was so, it's like, it's an interesting life we live, right? It's
Yeah.
just like, we can't
We're
help
also
it.
kind of both like more mask-ish presenting.
For
and, like,
sure.
I also went through this
Mhm.
like I'm a lesbian publicly kind of
Yeah.
phase.
Yeah.
And I presented much more mask.
And it had a huge impact on your life and your family too. Like
Yeah.
you were a lesbian in Orthodox Judaism.
Yeah. And I had to like really fight my parents to accept me
Yes.
as a lesbian. And then I had to introduce them to a man. And it really, I'm really mad. I'm really
Yeah, you blew it.
It was such a waste. No, but I'm
It's such a waste of that. No, but I think we have our experiences mirror in that way, which is like really interesting. I think the ball cap shortcut situation that we've got going on just is very. Maybe it's part of the branding.
I want your clothes though. Like these.
We would fit if we
I
ever
could never
dated.
pull this off. Ooh.
If we dated, our wardrobe doubles. Doubles.
Huge. I mean, for the fashion
Okay,
alone, you
said
should
it, not me.
consider it.
Let's go out.
What are you doing Friday? No, but yeah, those.
So what did he do?
Oh, okay. So what did he do?
That's
Yeah,
what
you
you
were
said,
saying-
right? Till he did something.
Oh yes, what he did. Okay, so all right. So he divorces in December of 2023.
So almost a year ago.
2022. Yeah, because this began in 2022. 2023, almost a year ago.
Wait, sorry. I know I'm interrupting so much.
No.
How did it go from friends to lovers? What was that?
It literally went from like we were just kicking it at my place after shooting a bunch, like, you know, and there was like, I think there were friends over that day and they all left and it's just me and him now at that point, like cleaning up. And
Did you feel sexual tension before?
for a while.
Okay.
It was happening for a while, but like in my head, I'm trying to be like, that's not what it is. No,
Yeah.
no. Like, no, that wouldn't happen. But I've like your nervous system doesn't lie. Like your gut knows when some shit's about to go down. And it was like one of those things. And that could either be a good sign or it could be a warning. And in this, in my case, it was a warning. All that to say though, that the bad stuff doesn't come until later. But at this point, you know, there hadn't been any indication or even like conversation that crossed the line or was even remotely flirting.
Were you drinking?
No. And so that's why like, it was crazy. So we're just like kicking it, watching a movie, and like the distance was not even close. It was like probably like this. And he's like, what if we, and I said, yeah, I've thought about it. That's literally how the conversation went. Like,
Wow.
he said, what if we, yeah, no, I think we should. And then we did. And like in moments later, that's how it went. It was crazy. So it was clear that both of us had been thinking about it, just never even indicated we were even good actors to one another. Because
Yes.
I had no idea that he was feeling what I was feeling.
And also the body language of being this far apart
yeah.
and having that conversation is fascinating.
No cuddling, no
Yes.
like we're
no
not
slowly inching towards each other.
no breaking the touch barrier
Yes.
is
That's brave as fuck.
Is-
I feel like I've seen that in movies and I'm like, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You know,
happens.
that they just go from like being so far to like kissing.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, good for you guys.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And so
Okay. Great start. So then bring us to
So then it's
now
hot
the
and heavy
end
for like a few years.
or the mid.
oh yeah.
December.
So we are like fully immersed. Like he's at my house every week. He's at the time I'm living in West Hollywood. He's at my house every week. He's staying over the weekend sometimes. Like it's like we're in close
he's
quarters.
married.
As he's married. I don't
Yeah.
know what he's telling his
Yeah,
wife.
what is
That's
he
not
telling
my
his
that's
wife?
not my business. I don't know. I didn't ask because I'm like, that's not
Yeah.
your relationship is not my business.
Yeah.
She wasn't on the team too, was she?
No, she wasn't. She was actually not involved at all.
Okay, good. Just in case.
No, that would be
God.
crazy. That would be
Be
such
crazy.
crazy tea. She was, their relationship seemed like it wasn't close either. So,
Yeah.
you know, which inevitably led to their
Right.
divorce. And then,
How long were they together?
like 7 years or something like that. 7, 8 years, a long time.
Yeah.
So then he becomes single on paper in December, and he's fully like talking to me like, you know, like he wants me to be his wife, he wants me to be the mother of his kids, and all of this.
Whoa.
And
Did you like that?
I think considered it, but I literally had told him several times. I said, yeah, you need to be single before you get into another situation.
Yeah.
And you probably should get some therapy. And then men, especially
Crazy.
black men, are, oh, we don't need therapy. I'm good. I have God. Red flag. Red flag.
Was he
God
religious?
put therapists. He's like,
Yeah, God created therapists.
God created therapists. What are we saying? Crazy. He is he has a Christian podcast. Yeah.
Shut
the clues are just getting thick. Y'all can put
I
it
cannot wait to
together.
find him.
I'm
later.
gonna listen to this
Yeah.
podcast. Oh my
Oh, yeah.
God.
Christian podcast.
Where he
Oh, it'd
talks
be the
about,
main ones.
of
They be the
course.
main ones.
I
That's
wonder if I've
amazing.
listened to it. I
you
listen to
listen to
so many Christian podcasts.
He
I'm
has
obsessed with religious culture.
We'll find out what it is after.
one. Oh yeah. I'll tell you exactly who it is
Okay.
off air. And again,
Oh
like this
my
is something.
God.
I can't wait till this episode drops. I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm gonna send it to everybody. Like, y'all, this is crazy. Okay, so now fast forward up until my birthday, right? So him and I are kind of like on and off, but never really clear of at this point. Like he said, yeah, I think I want to date other people, and then I was like, oh yeah, is that what you want to do? And you know, it was kind of like still a gray area because we're still fucking. It's still
Yeah.
very much we're close and we're still working together, so nothing had seemingly changed. But my birthday comes, and that was at the end of August, and he said this. He says he's gonna be there, and he's like really a person of his word, really like a man of his word. He's never like showed that he doesn't back out. He's never late. Like he very great qualities. But he said he was gonna be there.
Except
Then
for his marriage.
A man of his word.
that's so the irony. Well, to me, in the 2 years,
You said that was
except for his marriage. Oh yeah, right. I forgot about that. He said he was gonna be there. And then he ends up like changing his mind last minute. He's off. Bernie Mac and Cheese actually has a show, and then he's off to his next show. But he's like, I was gonna be there, but then he decides not to come like really last minute. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I said, oh, you're not coming, and then I just like fuck around with him for a bit, like, oh, like, you know, try to like, I guess like fake guilt him. But I was like, no, like, no, go. He I could see in the moment he felt guilty, but then I was like, no, fuck it. Like, you know, your career comes first. I'm really just fucking with you, right? And so he doesn't come to my birthday. A week later, a mutual friend of ours hits us on Instagram. It's like, hey, do you guys want to see this show at the Groundlings? And so I was like, hell yeah. But something in my gut, again, the same gut feeling that I got 2 years back, told me I was going to see him there tonight. But he didn't respond. So I was like, that's so weird that I'm feeling this. It was like clear as day. The download was so clear. I go to the show, and lo and behold, he's there. And I look over, and he starts to walk over, and he's with a girl. And I literally look at them. I said, is this a date? And they're both like, oh no, not a date. No. But it's like weird. And I'm like,
Yeah.
huh? And I look at him like, this is a fucking date. We were just fucking a week ago. I had plans to be at your house this week. What is this? And because, like, to me, we're friends. If you just wanted to see other people, you could have said
Just say
that.
it.
Yeah, just say that.
Yeah.
We can end things here. Cool. And I didn't recognize the girl at first because I don't really know her, but she was actually at my birthday party.
no.
That's why he didn't want to go. That's why he didn't want to go.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So then
How
I
many people were at your birthday party?
I think like 60 people showed up. It was like a lot
You're
of
so
people.
popular. That's
a good one.
amazing.
Where
I
did you
didn't
do
know.
it?
It did it at the Brass Monkey in K-Town. Yeah, really cool.
fun.
Just
I've
dive
heard of
karaoke
it.
bar.
Yeah.
Cute.
And so so I find that out, right? And so the next day, that's on a Monday. On the next day, the Tuesday, I'm like sending him messages like, hey, that's really fucked up. Like that, you really hurt me. I thought things were normal. You could have just told me. He sent me like crazy messages like, you know, don't worry about my love life. And I said, your love life, you've involved me. Like, this is where like a switch flipped in this
Yeah.
person. It was like literally crashing out. This dude is crashing out, right? And then like text me another message, because completely disregarding everything that I just like was super vulnerable about. And that was enough for me to be like, yeah, I'm done. Like literally, like we can't even be friends. He decides to, something in my spirit just told me not to answer his phone call, because he called me and I was like, let me not answer his phone call. He then decides to just leave our group, leave the
improv group.
The improv group.
Oh no.
He said in the group chat, he goes, I need to leave for my own personal reasons, and you know, something has come up. I can no longer meet my responsibilities. But
did he just drop that in the group chat?
Yeah, just drop that in the group chat. No warning. He started the group, so everyone's confused.
He's the original noodle.
He's the original. So everyone is confused. They're like, what's going on, right? And so I then follow up with like, that was really impulsive and didn't make sense. And
did you write that in the group chat or
no, to him personally, because I'm not like that. I would never air your shit out.
Yeah.
But then this is what happened next. Matter of fact, I'll read the text messages.
Please do.
Can we? Oh my God. Can I pee and then read the text messages?
Yes.
Oh my God. Yes.
Oh my God. This is the best gossip we've ever had.
Oh, they're near the door.
By the front door.
Yeah.
Oh
my
God.
I can't believe this.
We've never had a guest who's willing
share
to
text messages.
name names like this.
But then
she's not naming any names.
The layers are crazy. There's like so much. There's love. There's lust. There's
improv comedy.
Improv comedy.
Christian podcast.
There's love. There's lust. There's improv comedy.
The three pillars.
The three pillars of every good story. Oh my God. Okay. So then, so he leaves the group, right? He leaves the group in the group chat, and my close friend in the group calls me because she's like, this is weird. And she started with him in the original group. And she called him already, and several people had called him. He did not reply to anybody. So she calls me in turn because I'm like, I guess, kind of, he's always maybe second in command, right, if you will. And so obviously the next line of the next line to call is mine. So she calls me and she's like, what the fuck is going on? And she was the first person I had told.
Oh my God.
Anything.
Any of your friends?
I had told one friend, and she was very supportive through it, and you know, often told me like, girl, this is not gonna end well. Great friend. And I'm just like,
makes
I
a
don't
good
know,
point.
I'm a little stupid.
You were like in the closet.
I was back in the
years.
closet.
Yes.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
Crazy. So
and you weren't dating anyone else at the time?
no. No. At all. I was like, no, it was exclusive. That was my man. That was my man.
God.
Ooh, so embarrassing. So Simone on the team, shout out Simone, she calls me and is like, what the fuck is going on? Like we're all in the dark. This is a weird message. What is happening? And I just come clean. I tell her everything. This started 2 years ago. This is the relationship, and he got caught up, and now he has to run. And she was like, bitch, first of all, you like niggas? Shout out Simone. I was like, that's not the point.
I love that. She's like,
not
I have to straighten this out first.
They're just like, you're into dudes?
Yeah.
It was so, I mean, I could imagine.
Yes.
I can imagine that was a shock. But then she tells me, she goes, oh, that's why he said that. And then reveals that he had tried to date her friend in secret and like told her, he was like, just make sure nobody on the team knows. Just like make sure nobody on the team finds out. Wow. And now in hindsight, she's like, he was talking about you. And I'm like, wow. So
he was trying to date another girl?
Yes.
Oh my God.
As he was dating you, as he was cheating on his wife.
Well, at this point he's divorced.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I won't do that to him.
Okay,
I won't spread a lie, but I will tell the truth.
Okay. Wow.
But yeah. And I'm actually friends with that girl.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So boom. Now I know this information. I'm like, wow, this is going back deeper than I thought it was.
Yep.
And she's like, you're my friend, so I'm going to tell you what it is. And she's also my friend. So I don't like the idea that this guy is trying to play on both of their faces.
And this girl can't be the only one.
No.
I mean, there's also the girl who went to the Groundling show.
Yeah.
There's gotta be a list.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my God.
And so then this was...
Oh yeah, read the text.
We're reading the text message. So
this is the
So
best day
bad.
of my life.
so I say...
Wait, maybe we'll put this on the Patreon.
Perfect. Okay.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Listener, go to the Patreon.
To get the text messages.
Get the-
Unless, do you want them to be on the main feed?
No, go to the Patreon.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Go to the
Thanks.
Patreon for the text messages.
Patreon.com/Yenta.
Yes.